Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to everyone. Before the program starts, students are reminded to turn off your camera and microphone when the program starts shortly. Students are also reminded to fill in a Google form for registration and feedback at the end of our session. Hopefully, everyone can be patient as our program will begin soon. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam UiTM di hatiku. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you all here this morning. Greetings to the Honorable Professor Madya Technologist Dr. Nur Atika Sia Abdullah as Deputy Dean of Industry, Community and Alumni Network, Professor Madya Technologist Dr. Nurjan Salika Janum as Deputy Dean of Students Affairs, Encik Muhammad Nazrul Muhammad Amin as Deputy Dean of Students Affairs, Associate Professor Dr. Sayang Muhammad Dini as Head of the Center of Statistical and Decision Science Study, Dr. Zaina Zahid as Graduate Coordinator of Center of Statistical and Decision Science Study, Dr. Nur Asiah Ramli as Special Services Coordinator of Center of Statistical and Decision Science Study, Dr. Nur Fadila Ahmad Radi as Advisor in Stat Club of Faculty Computer Science and Mathematics, Nurul Rosniza binti Ahmad Rosmadi as a Program Director of Data Science Banking. The lecturers, Data Science Banking Committee, the celebrated participant and the audience. Welcome to Data Science and Banking webinar. Praise to Allah, we have been graced by the chance together in this beneficial ceremony. Before we move on, let us begin with the recitation of dua that will be led by Farid Amir bin Yaakob.
الفاتحة. بسم الله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم إنك خلاق العظيم إنك سميع العليم إنك غفور رحيم إنك رب العرش العظيم إنك باب الجواد الكريم. يا الله يا عليم يا حكيم. My peace of mind and spirit, strength of spirit. O Allah, make this gathering as a blessed gathering and make our farewell after this a farewell that you keep from danger and disadvantages. ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin Amin Ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you, Farid, for the recitation of dua just now. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Ainur Aizia and I will be your moderator for today. To begin with, we will would like to invite Yang Berusaha, Deputy Dean of Students Affairs, Encik Muhammad Nazrul Muhammad Amin, to give some welcoming.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Aino. Uh, yang dihormati Encik Ahmad Fairuz Ali, Head of Data Analytics COE Bank Islam. Terima kasih Encik Fairuz. Okay, sudi meluang masa pagi-pagi satu sama pelajar FSKM ni. Thank you so much. And yang dihormati Deputy Dean Profesor Madya Teknologi Dr. Nur Atikah Sia Abdullah. Okay, Deputy Dean Research and Industry Community and Alumni Network. Yang dihormati Deputy Dean Academic Affairs Profesor Madya Teknologi Dr. Nurjan Salika Janum. Profesor Madya Dr. Sayang Muhammad Dini yang dihormati Head of Center for Statistics and Decision Science. Wan Aida Wati Zainal Abidin, Coordinator of Center for Statistics and Decision Science. Dr. Zalina Zaid, Postgraduate Coordinator, Center for Statistics and Decision Science. Dr. Nur Asya Ramli, Servicing Course Coordinator, Statistics, Center for Statistics and Decision Science. And Dr. Nur Fadilah binti Ahmad Radi, the Advisor of Instex Club, Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Sciences. To all lecturers, committee members and all the participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm grateful that today we can gather to officiate the ceremony of Data Science in Banking webinar. First of all, I would like to thank Instex Club Association for inviting me to officiate today's ceremony. I really appreciate the efforts, cooperation and the commitment given by each of the members of the board as they did their best to ensure today's event runs smoothly. Data Science in Banking is a webinar that aims to give exposure to the students of Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Sciences related to data science field in banking industry. It is undeniable that data science is widely known in our country and also among FSKM students. Majority of FSKM students have basic skill in dealing with data using various types of software such as SAS, of course Excel, Python, Tableau and many other softwares. These skills along with knowledge of operating different software are useful in data science field and it is used widely for processing data, visualization and complex calculation. Other software such as Tableau and Power BI are being used in data science field for analyzation and visualization of data. So early exposure to the data science field into the world of banking could help the students to gain more knowledge about how data science can be applied in the banking industry more thoroughly. Besides that, students can explore more about data science and be able to know the job scope related to data science. This includes the job scope and the pathway after graduation. I wish this program could help FSKM students to be more successful and capable in the data science field, especially when it relates to the banking industry. It also can help to increase the quality and quantity of FSKM students in fulfilling industry needs in the future. Before I go any further, I would like to express my gratitude to our guest speaker for taking time to share his expertise in data science for banking system with us. Our guest today is Mr. Ahmad Fairuz Ali, which is Head of Analytic Data at Bank Islam Malaysia. I hope all the students can stay focused until the end of the program to get a wealth of knowledge for their future. Okay. Lastly, I would like to thank Instex Club once again as they managed to host such an informative event, and I wish for today's event to run with success. To all the participants who participated in today's program, I would like to congratulate all of you because you are be able to attend today's program, and I hope you will gain new input from you. So we have 160 participants. I think it's very successful event. So take this opportunity, ask so as many questions you ask to Cik Ahmad Fairuz, okay? And please enjoy your webinar this morning. All right. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi and have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, Deputy Dean of Students Affairs, Encik Muhammad Nazrul Amin, for the speech. Before we start, let me explain a little bit about the background of our speaker for today. Mr. Ahmad Fairuz Ali received his bachelor degree at Multimedia University Cyberjaya in Bachelor of Science Software Engineering. Beginning his career in 2010, Mr. Ahmad Fairuz has been appointed as the head of Revenue Insurance Finance Division at Umobile, followed by the senior manager at Group Internal Audit GIA at Telekom Malaysia in 2012. He continued his journey as an assistant general manager in 2017 and as a senior data scientist at Axiata Analytics Center in 2018. Currently, Mr. Ahmad Fairuz has been appointed as Head of Data Analytics COE at Bank Islam Malaysia. Assalamualaikum and good morning, Mr. Ahmad Fairuz. We are glad to have you as our speaker for today and thank you for lending your time to be with us. To begin our session, we will start with a sharing session by Mr. Ahmad Fairuz Ali.
Okay, hi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much to Aino. Thank you also to Alia Maisara who invited me to LinkedIn for the presentation today. So I think this is my fourth time give sharing session with UITM. It's a very pleasure for me to share with my young brothers and sisters lah, because I have my kids also. My eldest is around 50 years old, so soon maybe another couple of years my kids will join inshallah institutions, and then you are considered my kids also actually to know that because I'm 40 plus already. But it's going to be a very good and exciting for me to able to share my experience. That not that much because in banking itself I've been in for about 2 years, but I've been in the data science and also in other areas of internal audit, like almost then 20 years lah in telecommunication. Sorry for the voice. Let's begin. Let me share my screen. Are you able to see my screen? Can I?
Yeah, yes, you can.
Okay. So today I will share with you what the use cases in banking sector, because what the most important agenda for today is to ignite and to spark and provide awareness to the students about the benefits and the use case, about the benefits, practical benefits of data science in banking specifically. So I think I will be sharing with you a lot of use cases here. By a quick glance, there will be maybe around 20 today. But that is just in one page, but I will try to explain it. And then I will have some project that we currently do in Bank Islam also, which is a very interesting project also. And we have a video for that. But before we begin, let me share with you the overall artificial intelligence, because when we talk about data science. This data science is just it's just a practical terms of how to convey the message to the ground level, because that's what we want to do. Because when we say that what do you want to do, we are going to do a data science. But if you look into a bigger picture, that is what we call artificial intelligence, big data, and that is what the whole agenda is all about lah. So if you, I try to bring the perspective from top to bottom. So from the beginning, at the higher level itself, our government have provided a lot of initiatives through MDEC on how to implement artificial intelligence in the across the organizations, across all industries. And that is what is very important for students, graduates like you, to understand the reason behind it and what are the supporting infrastructure that is ready to help you to excel in this particular area. Okay. Not only because we have the RMK 12, where people and the governments are really focusing and emphasize on Industrial 4.0, but also they are coming in our country the 5G implementation, where we will be seeing from the mobile smartphone itself a higher speed, low throughput. There will be and higher connectivity across all nations. So we are saying that these infrastructure initiatives allow a lot of understanding on how do we understand the customer, understand the people, and the most importantly, how does it benefits to the people itself. So this is the from the framework itself. I try to bring you from the bigger picture, and then we will go through step by step into how do we do that at the most granular level, inshallah. So maybe you have been going through what is the definitions of artificial intelligence through your syllabus that you'll go through in your studies itself. But we try when you try to talk to the people outside them, there are various levels of people who understand artificial intelligence. So maybe in a very layman term, you need to be able to explain what does AI is all about. So if I can try to look into a layman term, an easy explanation, AI is about to simulate the human intelligence in machines. They are programmed to think like humans and mimic their actions. That is what we try to do that. Okay? If that is the fundamentals, we want to simulate the human intelligence, and we do that in the machines. It's not that machines is being able to think much better than us, but we want to simulate that into the machines. Whatever the human intelligence is that. So in the practical, for examples, we have eyes. Then from the eyes, what we try to do with artificial intelligence is the object recognition, for example, image recognitions, computer visions, pattern matching, speech recognition, text to speech, voice synthesis, sensor recognitions, handwriting recognitions, and also robotics. And that is the whole purpose of doing artificial intelligence into the where we want to simulate the human intelligence into our machines. And the advantages of doing this is we will be able to automate that and control it from human size stuff. So the core to artificial intelligence itself is to understand how does the human being think about the world around itself. That is the core itself. So indeed, some of the I remember some of the talk, they say that when we say machine learning, it's not that we teach the machine to learn. Actually, the other way around, which is we are the one that understand. We learn a lot from the machines because the machine is just to assist us in the problem solving that we have, but it's not the machine learning. The machine is just an automate. It just receive instruction. But we, along the way of the process of machine learning, we are the one that learn a lot from the machine, the output from the machine itself. Okay. So when we want to put into the perspective, then that is where the artificial intelligence, starting from the beginning, all a long way when a lot of students, lecturers, and faculties have been doing research, and then come out into with the concept of machine learning, and lately for the last 10 years, focusing on deep learning. So I want to position is this, the understanding to the students, to you, is that this is how we positions the machine learning and deep learning that we are going to witness after this, and how do we do that in a practical banking sector itself. So just to quote you some of the examples that Bank Islam has started do using artificial intelligence stuff. The first one, what we did is we have a credit risk modeling using SAS to profiling high risk customer before they onboard to bank. All right, and that is very important to eliminate high risk profile before we accept them and put their money in our bank. Second one is that we also have started use what we call a financial computing to understand various companies before the fund manager able to make an investment on that particular company. That is through our subsidiaries, BIMB Invest. So this is one of the top technology around, where before we invest in that particular companies, we really do and analyze the historical data of that company, be it from the ESG side, being it as from Sharia compliance, being it from a political side, and so on. So that is what we have been using AI in that particular perspective. We also have implemented the chatbot to assist in the customer service for issuing any complaints related to IT. And also, we also have a supervisor override recognitions using facial recognition. So for that perspective, example is that if you remember when you walk into the banks, and then suddenly you want to do some transaction, and then the teller, the person in front of you that handles that request, they will say, oh, this one kena minta supervisor. Then suddenly they will call, Encik Amin tolong datang. Encik Amin tolong datang. And then what happens is Encik Amin will come back, it will come and sit behind it, and then he key in something. Actually, he key in the password lah, actually, to override that particular request. For example, maybe he had make some transfer that requires a lot of maybe around transfer of 10,000, and that requires supervisor approval, right? So that is what has happening in most of our banks today. And instead of you key in on and type it on the keyboard, what happens in Bank Islam, to smooth the process, we do a facial recognition. So still, the supervisor will come in, sit back at the back of the television, and then the camera just push it. Okay, just as a recognition, okay, this is Encik Amin. Encik Amin will recognize these transactions. Then okay. So It makes it very smooth. So that is one of the use cases of using AI in banking sector itself. Okay, so there are lots of benefits of using data science in banking. If you look into in other countries, in UK itself, they really measure the productivity of using AI in tapping customer experience and streamline process, for example, right? And it's a very increase in product rollout itself for 88%. Another one is that using biometric solutions, it helps to reduce the number of complaints really related to the bank queries, right? So this is the benefits of using AI in banking sector. So we really need to appreciate these benefits, because in the end, when you started as a graduate, when you started doing projects, whenever, regardless, are you in any sector itself, you really need to understand the end objective. What do you want to achieve, right? So, for example, faster product rollout, that is what you want to achieve. Reduction in complaints, that is what you want to do. Increase of revenues, profits, that is really what do you really need to focus on. All right. So because of that, then only it will help you to understand the benefits of the project that you're doing, and then you will be able to communicate that very well to various stakeholders, saying that the project that I'm doing right now will benefit the company in this certain measurement, in certain perspective as a KPI. All right. So really to understand that, maybe when you join the industry, you will be given a specific task, right? You will be given a specific task, and maybe usually when if you join a big company, they will giving you a very specific task itself that compounded within your parameters only. It says that is what you want to do. You have to do that, and that is a very sad, because some of the organizations today, they are really focusing on automating the process. What I'm saying is the automating the activities itself, the BAU itself. That become and make the new joiners of that company, it just become a robot, right? Because you doesn't know what are the reason behind the activities that you are doing, right? For example, in banking, a lot of banks today also are doing that. Wherever you do a verification check on manual verifications of all the forms that have been submitted, manual paper verifications, right? So you really need to understand when when your supervisor asks, you have to check this, and this, and this, and this. You have to really ask, do we really need to do this? Do we have a system that able to do this checking automatically? Do we have, for example, an input to the mobile apps, for example, that will automatically reject if the submissions of the application form does not meet the criteria that is required before you proceed to the next process, right? So that is really what you need to challenge. If you once you join the industry, you need to be able to challenge that, actually, because I will tell you that when we join, there's a lot of a legacy system and a lot of manual process, and unable to make the changes and accept all these automation, digital initiatives itself, because it's very hard to change the people itself. Okay, so when we start with the AI or any data science project, then we need to understand, when we, for example, in that example that I gave to you, the reason we want to eliminate, the reason we want to pull out an automatic image recognition on the form itself is because we want to eliminate the error of human being that manually verify the forms, right? Because when you ask the people, the operation people, to manually verify the form, do you think that the accuracy is as high as it is? No, right? So some of the people going back very late at night because they have to look into that form and verify it manually, right? Not only the signature, but all the characters of the input, the addresses, the IC number have to be input correctly. So when we have a data science project, we need to justify that to eliminate the risk of an error of manual processing. That is the benefit itself that you really need to emphasize that. You need to be able to think further and as go deeper to understand the value of doing the data science project itself. Okay. So there are around 21 data analytics use cases, and if across a lot of divisions in banking sector. So if you look into the horizontal line that if I look on the top, there's a deposit and investment, financing, wealth management, SME, branches, treasury, HR, and credit management. These are the division in banking. Most of the banking will have this. Most of the banks that handles retail customer like you, individual customer, or banks that manage a corporate companies, right? So companies like Server Dynamic or whatever companies, bank also handle that. So most of the banks will have these 8 division itself, being in deposit, financing, wealth management, SME, branches, treasury, HR, and credit management. I will give you a quick glance what is this division itself lah. So deposit and investment is the divisions that keep your money. So the money is belong to you, but the banks are the one that help to keep your money. So this is the biggest of the most of the banks have these divisions as biggest because we put a lot of controls to ensure that your money in our banks are safe. So that is called deposit and investment company. And some of your money, if you decided to invest, then we also will invest to you. So for example, in Bank Islam, we have our Al Alpha accounts. You put your money, you can still withdraw, you withdraw and fund back inside your accounts. But some of the the money that you put, if you put it more longer, then we will invest. We will use your money for investment, and the return we will give given back to you lah. All right. So that is what is stay within the deposit investment itself. Okay. The second divisions is financing. Financing ini is divisions that handles all your loans, right? Like a student loan, no student loan. I mean personal loan, housing loan, vehicles loans, right? And this is the division that have. So in this division, we give our money to you for you to loan to finance from us lah. So in Islamic banking, we don't call it as a loan lah. Actually, we call it as a financing. And indeed, we don't call it as interest because there is no such thing as a interest concept in Islamic banking itself. So please quote me correctly. There is no interest rate in Islamic banking. What we have is like profit sharing that we will that we impose to the customer itself lah. All right. And then the third division is about the wealth management. The wealth management is where the customer who is the divisions that manage all your takaful. All right. So takaful, I think is also about Islamic because we is in other words is a insurance lah. But for Islamic perspective, we call it as a takaful. So we are very different from the other insurance concept outside there that is not Sharia compliance because what we have is a very takaful is a Sharia insurance compliance lah. All right, we have a insurance and also we have like a unit trust inside these divisions that manage all your portfolios and inside there. All right, and then we have the fourth one. We have the SME divisions that manage for all the SME companies that use our services. We have our branches. If you look into all the branches around Malaysia, we have around 140 5 branches across the nation. We have a treasury also that handles all the treasuries exchange. And then we have a HR and also a credit management. The one, the credit management is the one that manage these credit risk of the customer who onboard on our products itself. So if you look into each of these divisions, there's a lot of data science use cases inside there. For example, classification of customer, right? Using RFM, recency, frequency, and monetary value. Churn predictions, because customer who on board to banking, they are also customer who left the bank or closed the account with the banks. So we need to understand and prevent that from being happen. Then we call this as a churn prediction stuff, right? Customer lifetime value is an analysis of how do we understand the customer, how long they have been with us, and how does the customer evolve from the students become fresh graduates joining the work sector, right? Get married, have kids, have a property, retire, and so on. That is what we are looking into as the customer lifetime values, and how does this customer interact with the bank, and how does bank helps along the way of the journey of the person. Um, and we have, for example, others use cases using natural language processing, like sentiment analysis on the social media. When we scrap all the tweets or Facebook or mentions from Instagram about Bank Islam, how does people view Bank Islam? How does people foresee Bank Islam? At the most, whether positive or neutral or negative perspective and stuff, right? Like, and also we have around market warning alerts, where we do understand from the corporates or from the economics segment group of people. What does it? How does the people react? The economists react to any news pertaining to Bank Islam. For example, recently when last year Bank Islam being listed in Bursa Malaysia, that is the first time for Bank Islam listed in Bursa Malaysia, and then our share prices goes up very high. I can't remember right now, but I think it's about 3 ringgit plus. And that was a very good feedback that we received from the markets reactions when we are the first full bank Islamic flagship enter into Bursa Saham. All right, so that is very a proud moment for everybody in Bank Islam itself. And we, in order to capture all how the market react, we do the data analysis, and then we capture that, and then we analyze the feedback itself. All right. So if you look into here, there's a lot of use cases across using technologies like deep learning, machine learning, natural language processing, location intelligence, and all the unstructured data. And then we across what are the use cases in each of the divisions inside Bank Islam. So you can use this template also. I mean, this is developed by myself. When I look into, there's nobody have been doing it. So I think it's very straightforward and very easy to understand, kan? For when you want to communicate your activities and approaches that you want to do. Later, if you look on the branches divisions here, there is a one project that I call improve customer waiting time at the branches. Then that's I will share with you. So inshallah. Yep. Okay. So maybe I've been talking about maybe about 10 or 15 minutes. Let's do this Kahoot. I have wait. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wait. Where is my... Let me... so I've sent you a link. If you can see. A link there. Can you join that link? Okay. Okay, so we have okay. All right. Thank you for joining. I have only 5 questions only, not more than that actually. Okay. All right. So can we, before we start the okay, let's start the game. Just to give you to refresh whatever that I have shared with you earlier, right? Okay, let's start this. Okay, we are going to start. 3, 2, 1. Quiz. Which statements below are not true? So if you can answer this from your understanding, which statements below are not true? Okay, so the correct answer is technology drive the objective of use cases, actually. Okay, so do you understand the statement itself? So the question is the question is, which statements below are not true? So the correct answer is technology drive the objective of use cases. So what I'm saying is this: if I can reverse the correct is, does the technology drive the objective of use cases? So you should ask yourself about that. Does really the technology drive the objective of use cases? So obviously what I'm saying is no, because technology is enabler to the use cases. What drives the objective of the use cases is the organization itself, the business itself, the objective, the business requirement, and that can be drive by the management. It can be drive by the management. It can be drive by the market. It can be drive by the customer itself. So technology does not drive the objective of these cases. Technology is just an enabler to the data science use cases. Okay, that is what my the answer, the explanation for that. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, Dustin, Zaire, all right, good. True or false? Okay, maybe this more than 90% of AI startup today has been successful in their missions. Okay, I very sorry because I didn't say this earlier, but what do you think about this? Do you think that AI startup is very successful in their mission? Very interesting. So most of you think that, almost 39% think that most of the AI startup is very successful. But the ratio is not that big lah. It's 39 compared to 31. So some of you also, I believe, has understanding that the AI, not AI startup is very successful, which is true actually, because if you look into on the news, and most of the survey that has been done on the companies that claim they use AI or artificial intelligence, deep learning or machine learning, not all of them or most of them are very successful lah. Indeed, in their studies saying that only 30% only is successful. The rest, whether they close, they will join, and they cannot proceed anymore lah. So that is the challenge today, that I want to convey the message to you, that it's not that AI is not that easy, or it's not that what we say, that it is not that all the AI, or all the help of the words AI, deep learning, will be able to solve the real problem actually. So you really need to understand that, and I hope that whenever the thought process that I have explained to you, that is the one of the ingredients lah, I think, to ensure that whenever some of you are fresh graduate who want to do a startup, you must really to understand the business concept, the business objective. What do you want to deliver? What do you want to achieve by the end of the day when you use all these algorithms, robots, random forest ke apa, tapi what do you want to achieve? That is really the key, one of the key ingredients when you want to make up or start up. We start with any AI initiatives. Okay. All right. Okay. Next question. So quiz. Which one is the top data science use cases in the banking? This I think is very easy lah. I think kan. Kalau you tengok ni, I've given you an answer already lah. So I just try to. It's not that difficult, right? Okay. Oh, yeah. Credit risk is one, but I'm okay. There are some also of you or saying analysis on ATM machine location optimization. Okay. This is one of the interesting part lah actually. Just to because ATM machine location ni memang some of the banks are doing that. Tetapi if you look into a different perspective, today you go out, dekat mana ATM machine you ada banyak? Most of the time, anybody can answer to me. Kat mana biasanya jumpa ATM machine kat mana? Kan? Well, maybe you can answer me, Alicia. So you jumpa ATM machine, I can petrol station, correct? You use petrol stations, right? You jumpa ATM machine dekat shopping complex. ATM machines dekat mana? Tesco. Sekarang bukan Tesco kan, Lotus kan, Lotus. Giant, super ni. So why do we need to do an analysis of ATM machine location optimization? When you are saying that if there is a shopping complex, then just put the ATM machine. There's no need to do a machine learning for that. Okay, data science project. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. So always challenge yourself. And kalau data science tak ada, does it meet the objective? So in this case, yes, because there's no need to do data science on locating the ATM machines, right? On rural area pun exactly, rural area, right? Kampung-kampung, where does the ATM machines located? So indeed, in rural area, is very remote area lah. They will have the ATM machines at the mosque, kan, at the shopping area, at the center of the town, kan, dekat pekan-pekan kecil tu, kat situ ada ATM machine. So there is no need, and then maybe 2 or 3 is enough. There's no need to do remote ATM machines. Kalau ada 4-5 rumah baru nak buat satu ATM machine, tak perlulah kan, tak perlu buat apa kita nak buat benda tu. And customer parking optimization, so it's no need lah to do that. Route analysis of moving cash money from one branches to another branches, no need, kan? Because route analysis ni tak perlu nak buat because apa? Because why? Because we already have our Grab and our Waze, Google Map. They that that helps to give raw analysis. Moving from one branches to one branches, so tak perlu buat data science lagi. Orang ni dah buat dah. Kan? So that is the perspective that I want to give the message to you. So really, when you start any data science, you really need to think hard. Kalau orang lain dah buat, you tak perlu buat. Apa benefit dia I buat ATM machine location authorization? Sebab apa benefitnya? Membazir masa kan, kalau tak perlu kan. Pasal logically, semua ATM machine dekat petrol station, dekat mall, KKMart pun ada. Ada KKMart. Kan? So, really need to think about the use cases, the benefits of data science before you start the project. Okay. Sorry. Oh. Yeah, Zaire, thank you, Zaire. That's congratulations. Okay, the fourth question. Which one of the statement below are not true? Okay, which one are statement below? Think. Maybe this is very out of your context or understanding, but I really need to check your understanding lah. Okay, the correct answer is right. Management does not decide on the use cases. That is the key, correct. So most of you got it correct, right? Management does not decide on the use cases. Actually, management at the same time they decide the use cases. Actually, use cases ni not only the management means from the ground, from the customer itself lah, right? Some of you also the rest are true lah. Procurement are key to acceleration of technology option. That is true. Okay, procurement is very important. Infrastructure are vital for big data. Yes, when you want to run any big data, millions of records, you need a proper infrastructure, right? Without that, you will be able to do that on your laptop, but a lot of investment on your laptop lah. Higher RAM, 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte, and that is required lah. All right, because although you have a lot of module in data science, kita ada apa? DAS, kita ada Spark, kan? I'm sure you guys are very familiar with that. Kita ada DAS tu, DASK, Spark, a lot other libraries lah that handle big data kan. Tapi I pun dah buat, ada banyak I buat juga dulu. Tapi kalau you tak ada a proper infrastructure, you tak ada have a sufficient RAM, you doesn't have a sufficient computing power, or this still that is a limitation. Right? You ada Spark sekalipun, masih tak boleh buat. Because Spark run on the memory, right? But still will be consumed of power. Alright. People, process are key. System and process are key to the use cases adoption. Yes, that is correct. Okay, let's go to the last one because we have about 7 minutes left to 10 o'clock. I've been giving only 10 o'clock. All right. Next, the last questions. The impact of data science are tricky questions. Which one is not true? Ada video pula kan. Okay, tak pasal ada video ni. Which one is not true? Which one is not true? Improve the bottom line, increase profit ke, improve customer experience ke, change the core value of the banks. What is the question? Okay, yes, most of you get it correct lah. So data science does not change the value, the core value of the banks. Banks remains, the core value of the banks remains. Without data science or with data science, the core value of the banks remains. Okay. So this is the statements. Other than that, is true actually. The data science helps to improve the bottom line, your P&L, increase the profits, improve customer experience, and a lot more lah actually. Okay. So really, as a student, you need to really understand. Oh, there's a but to understand this. Okay. Okay. Let me share my screen back. Can you see my? Okay, this is my screen. This the yeah. Okay. Does my screen change?
No, it's still the Kahoot.
Oh, okay. Let me share again. Okay. So in one sentence, all right. I think whenever I presented, even next week also, I was invited for the chief data scientist seminar next week on Monday at JW Marriott. I think I also will pose the same question and the same questions to you also lah. And that is very key before you really embark in this data science project. If there is no data science, will the business improve? If there is no you, for example, that's very sounds very kasar. Kalau you tak ada doing data science in that organization, business improve ke tidak? That you really need to understand that. So if kalau if you not able to answer this, then you are gone. Then you are gone. Because you need to answer no, the business will not improve because the data science will help the business to improve. Understand? Right? So you really need to find that answer. How does the data science improve the businesses? Okay, that is the one of the key messages I want to share with you. Okay, so for bank, what are the important key drivers for focusing on data science itself? So we are focusing on talent, R&D, culture, and infrastructure. I will say that one of the reasons for me from the organizations to participate, giving talk or sharing session with the students is to attract talent. People like you who are energetic to learn and to explore more, not because we want to yes, we of course we want to share with you, but we want to attract talent people to join Bank Islam, to join us, to participate together. We can drive this data science activity initiatives activities in Bank Islam. So that is the reason lah, right? So I want to promote lah to promote anybody who upon graduation, if you want to join Bank Islam, you are welcome to contact me through LinkedIn or contact our HR through the LinkedIn portal also, right? So these are the four areas that we really need to focus on. Once not only on the talent but also R&D, culture itself, and also the infrastructure. Okay. But when we do any data science project, we really need to align with this very strategic direction itself. Okay, so this is also another template. I think this is very straightforward that you guys can also understand that. But it's very important that the area, if you look one by one, you have to analyze and then you map it into a quadrant of high impact and high feasibility. Then you must understand that which one should be prioritized, which one should be start now, today, so that it can give an impact to other projects. And it make a changes to the culture and also the infrastructure that we have in the banking, in the organizations that you are in, actually. All right. Okay, so this is one of the video I want to share with you. One of it is a video intelligence. I'm sure that you have very have for some fundamentals of what you are doing in banking, in whatever you have learned in the class itself. So this is one of the project that we are doing it. So what happened is that we are capturing. So the use cases is this. The use cases is to reduce the number of waiting time of the customer when they walk into our branches. Very clear, right? To improve the reduce of waiting time. So I say that to improve the customer waiting time at the branches lah, right? So what happened is that whenever the customer walk in, we will capture the customer and start the time of the customer walk in itself also. itself. So maybe if I can faster. And so when we capture the person itself, then we start the timing lah. And then the system is that when the person sit down, kan, dia duduk saja, then we start calculate dia punya waiting time. Dia ambil tiket, dia duduk saja, kita dah start calculate dia waiting time. Okay, and then kalau lah at that situation there's only one person, obviously the KPI of waiting time will be very low, like immediately lah, because it's a waiting time, immediately lah dia kena dapat kan. But you must understand, at different scenario there will be a lot of customer, right? So when there is a lot of customer, what are the average waiting time that you should give equally to the customer who walk in, right? And that's where this project, the AI, come to calculate the average waiting time equally for that particular. For example, when there's about 10 customers, right? So you need to reduce and identify if there is any of the customer who have longer waiting time, more beyond the average of other 10 people. Understand, right? Because senario ni berubah-ubah kan. Ada satu masa 2-3 orang, ada satu masa ramai, ada satu masa ni. Jadi you tak boleh pukul rata semua average waiting time. Tahu? You saya cakap tak boleh. Kata 10 minit tak boleh. Most of the bank are doing that. Kan dia kata 10 minit je waiting time. Kan tak boleh. Dia tak boleh buat macam tu. Because dia akan bergantung kepada berapa ramai orang yang duduk ada satu masa. So dalam in this situation, is only 2 person ni lah. That is the person. So we do that and then we calculate, and automatically if the waiting time of that person be above the average number of the waiting time of that person at that particular time, then it will alert the system at the back end, then will trigger the branch manager to come in, right? So maybe we can challenge that. Without this also, the branch manager will always looking into the average. Mungkin dia selalu tengok. But I will ask the questions. Adakah the branch manager will always look into the customer yang berada di hadapan sofa ni? And most of the time, the branch manager also have other things to do, right? So they need a system to trigger the branch manager to say that, hey, there's about 10 people, there's one person is waiting more than the average number of the rest of the people. Okay, that is the use cases that we are doing right now in. So very advanced, right? Okay, so bridging the donor and potential is one of the projects where we wanted to analyze where when we provide asnaf contributions, what are the donor the donor around that. So for example, when we do initiative of rumah prima, for example, right, kita buat rumah untuk golongan-golongan asnaf ni di satu kawasan untuk di Kelantan, tapi maybe there's also a potential donor nearby to that particular area. For example, we want to go for a near area for Tumpat area, for example. So donation come from everywhere, right? We can get all of everywhere, but we also need to get what are the potential donor around that. So that is using the geospatial analysis, right? If you want that, how do we do that in identifying the gaps between the donor and also the asnaf? Okay. So there are a lot of challenges like decisions, data, analytics, technology, communication process into addressing all the use cases inside this banking sector itself. Okay, so I think by the end, this is my end of my presentations. My last word for this is that the use of data science in financial institution help us to understand better how the human being behaves naturally. In other words, when you start the business, any data science project, you really need to understand that how does it help you in understand the human being? How does it help you to improve the organizations? Because that is what the whole objective. Then you will be able to quantify or measure your benefits itself, and the most importantly, to clarify or to what I say that to claim your existence lah, right? Of doing data science in any organizations, right? You must claim that and make yourself valuable by understanding and showcase that you are really needed in helping the whole organization. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I think that's the end of my presentation. It's until 10, kan? This session is about until 10:30. It's a Q&A. All right. Thank you. Back to you. I know.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmad Farouz, for sharing with us a bit of knowledge and insight regarding data science in the banking industry. That was indeed a very informative information that we can get. And I hope everyone will gain some input from this sharing session. This webinar will be continue with the question and answer session. If you have any question, you can write it down at the chat box, or you may unmute yourself to ask question to our speaker. We will give about 5 minutes to the audience to ask a question. We have actually gotten a lot of questions from the participants who are joining us in a WhatsApp, but we also have a question in the chat box. So I will read it for you guys. So for the first question that we selected from the chat box is, which job scope in Bank Islam that accept actuarial science students?
Okay, so I think for actuarial science is as I remember finance, not financing, finance finance. They are doing some financial reporting lah, financial reporting. This one. And then, but the most important is not finance. I think finance also, there's a lot of people from finance who can apply for that particular job. But the risk, credit risk, that is one of the most feasible lah for actuarial science students. The credit risk, compliance department, and because the compliance department is the one that check anti-money laundry that activities detect on that. So they use mathematical and statistical method to assess the risk itself. So I think that these are the two main scope apply on these credits and also compliance. Okay.
For the second question that we get from the WhatsApp is, what is the benefit of being in the banking sector?
Sorry again. Boleh ulang.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. What is the benefit of being in the banking sector?
Of being in the banking sector.
Yeah.
Oh, um, benefit of being in banking sector. I not able to answer that. It's a banking ni is a very exciting because it depends on. You see, this really depends on what you are looking for lah. As a student, what do you look after lah. And so there are people who like to do investment, to explore about investment. The other buat investment during the student, kan. So upon graduations, the most close industry is a banking lah. So when you join a banking, then you will be exposed to the investment environment, investment market, and understand how does the investment, how the stockbroker works, understand how does the fund manager work, understand how the sentiments of all share prices. All these can be gained when you join banking, and it really is depends on your patience. So because I've seen people who graduates similar age like you also, like 23 or 24 from UK, and then he likes to do investment. He likes to explore about investment, so he joined banking. So it really depends on your patience, right? Maybe I can share with you because when myself itself, I graduated from Multimedia University. Then during that time my passion is in software engineering, and then I was bonded with Telecom Malaysia, right? So I have to stay with Telecom. So I stayed within the telecommunication industry for 20 years lah. Although I went out from Telecom Malaysia, thereby I joined similar industry lah, like the DG, like Axiata, within the same industry because I just focus, right, using software engineering as a tools, as a skills only, right? Your programming as a skills only, but really what you want to look. So 20 years I've been doing telecommunications. I can tell you because I witnessed the changes from 2G to 3G, from 3G to 4G, and then 4G to 5G. That's when I left the telecommunication because I thought, oh enough lah, banyaklah sangat GG ni kan. Cukup lah. Sama je ubah daripada 2G ke 3G, 3G ke 4G, 4G ke 5G kan. And so I witnessed that. So it is very exciting, and I enjoy the telecommunication over 20 years in doing that. Understand both mobile telecommunications and also fixed line telecommunication, fiber optic, 4G, radio antenna engineering, telecommunication engineering. I can tell you because one of my job scope last time was I was doing internal audit, and one of the benefits of doing internal audit is that you learn during the audit as engagement too. Okay? So I learned about procurement, learned about the IT, learned about the strategy, learned about marketing, learned about sales, learned about the most important is that not many people can do is can have access or learn about the telecommunication engineering stuff. So how do we explore about wideband, low band, telecommunications, CDMA, ODMA, and a lot more lah, all the technologies of that from engineering perspective. Right, so that is about the nature of learning and patience. So to answer the question is, being a benefits is that it depends on what you want, what you look after lah. Actually, kan? So you need to build that patience actually, because once you have that patience, regardless lah, you nak gaji tinggi besar ke apa, itu semua akan datang kemudian. Gaji tinggi semua datang kemudian, because you show your passion, then that will come. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more about the statement you made that we need to build the passion before we do anything. So the next question is, how many years of experience that we need to become a data scientist, and what area of expertise?
Actually, number of experience ni, it's not quantified by a number of years lah. It's not by quantifying number of years. So indeed, we try to change that years of experience is not correct perspective lah. It depends to become a good data scientist. It depends number of projects that you do. Okay, number of projects. And as a student, you have a lot of opportunity to do a lot of projects. And one of the example is that you know that also the companies outside there, they are doing hackathon. Join that hackathon. Kumpulkan 2-3 orang, buat satu kumpulan, then join that particular hackathon. And then that is your project. Even though you cannot make it, that become your project. Tak dapat ke apa-apa hadiah pun, that is for your project. And do a lot of projects. Then it will benefits you throughout the learning. Alright. So from industry perspective, in my perspective itself, I always look into number of projects, number of years. Because kalau you kata number of years, then nanti obviously fresh graduate tak boleh cari makan lah, susah lah. So it's wrong lah. Because we still need to give the opportunity to the fresh graduate. So it depends on number of projects. So that's give an advantage to the fresh graduate compared to other fresh graduate yang tak ada number of projects. Okay. What programming language do you use? It depends lah. Most today people use Python. Last time when I did, I was using Perl. Mungkin lama saya tak pernah dengar kan. Perl, scripting lah, CGI Perl. PHP tu tak sekejap je. Then from CGI Perl tu, and then I immediately SQL, and then SQL tu tak ada apa lah. Then Python lah, and then it's very still Python just learn Python. Is it necessary to learn accounting if you want to get into banking? My advice is you learn yourself. Can. It's not necessary, but it's going to be an advantage to you. Kalau you go for an interview, you say that I have learned accounting, although I am a software engineering graduate. You say that I am from software engineering graduate, but I learned accounting. That becomes an advantage to you. So learn accounting. As someone who says there are many aspects lah when we look into when we get a fresh graduate on board. Actually, some of it is number of projects and also an attitude lah, and also look into the two things lah. Make things simple is project involved and also attitude. Okay. In Bank Islam, what mostly data science do? Do you explain a little bit about our work? I think this is what I've explained earlier. In Bank Islam, where we are focusing a lot of the use cases that helps the business lah, and we do that across all the divisions. All right. What are the requirements to secure a job in this field? Okay, what are the requirements? I think the requirements, if you want to stay in this data science field, this what you need to do is learning lah. You need to have a passion to learn, because technology change over a period of time, and there's a lot of libraries available outside there and techniques. Okay, so if you decided, and one of the areas that maybe you need to have a lot of do your R&D stuff. Okay, I can share with you one of the successful stories, because they are outside there. If you look into, I'm not sure, we as a programmer, we go to the website and then we go, let's say that credit risk assessment tutorial, and then we go and then kita ada nampak orang tu buat all the codes, then we take and then we cut and paste and then we claim this is a project. Then show to our boss. Anybody can do that, right? Right. Tapi the most important is try to challenge that. Think how to do it in different way. Maybe you should do. Is there a better way to do this? Is there a better algorithm to do this? Right. Although we know that we understand that different data sets has a different not necessarily suitable to different types of algorithm, right? Random forest atau SVM, most of people say, oh, SVM is very good. Tapi sebenarnya mungkin random forest is very good at certain data set also. But compared to SVM, kan? Because SVM ni mungkin dia tak boleh detect outliers, tapi random forest boleh detect outliers, kan? Jadi you have to challenge that to understand that. Tetapi maybe at a certain stage you or the end of the day you sendiri yang build your own algorithm, right? If you are possible lah. I also tak boleh buat benda tu, tapi you have to do that yourself. Rather than you cut and paste from the website kan, malu jugalah nak cut and paste kan. I also do that, but I always challenge that, is this the proper way? Is there a much better way to improve the use? Does big data
We also gotten the question from Q&A bots that ask, does Bank Islam have any graduate program?
Oh, ada. Kita ada graduate programs lah. Tapi I think that one maybe you can contact Kasmal. I can give you the email address lah to Alia Maisara nanti. We have a graduate program also lah. So we do an interview and then we onboard students, fresh graduates, join as a graduate program lah. Okay. Does big data secure a job for undergraduate of coming years? Actually, yes. Data ni memang becoming a lot more lah. Data kan, but we need big data engineer lah to help manage and all this data itself lah. So big data, don't worry, it's a very secure job. Actually, not big data only lah. I think we'll talk about data engineering ni sebenarnya very secure lah, very secure, because it's very hard to get experienced data engineer. Experienced data engineer ni susah nak dapat, kan? Sebab data engineer ni is a little bit complex skills lah compared to data science lah. But not saying that data science is very easy, tapi data science also, the complexity is when you want to map it or link and cap it with bridge the data analysis with the business context. Yang itu challenge dia pula. Data science ni macam ni you nak bridge to the business context, itu challenge dia, and then do a communications. Okay, so no denial is data science also important, data engineering also. Is Bank Islam planning to do hackathon in Datathon? I think we will announce you very soon. We do have plan, but we'll announce you lah, but not on a specific timeline. Let's say someone with background of accounting with minimal data science experience, what are the specific needs for this person to keep relevant in the market industry? Okay, for someone who from a accounting background and has minimal data science, that is a very good skill set they have already. But my advice is that you always try to put link back to the business context, because when you do a data science, you have a skill lah. You can play around data, download the data, you massage the data, you slice and dice data. That is a skill lah, using Python ke SQL kan. Tetapi you must, when you slice and dice the data, you need to put that into accounting perspective, for example lah, or business perspective, right? So let's say that P&L, you do a trend analysis, and then you do that correlation analysis. You do that. Does this cost element relates to the revenue by the branches itself, for example? Okay. So immediately we are saying that, of course, when the cost is increased, then the revenue also should be increased, right? But if the cost increase, the revenue not increase, something wrong lah. Kan? That's something wrong that you need to be able to come out to answer that lah, to link back into the business context. Okay. All right, is there any further questions? I think I've tried to answer all these questions right from the chat box. Is it enough with only Power BI expertise? I think Power BI itself is enough lah, because the most important is not the Power BI actually. The most important is the concept of visualizations, kan? So kalau you dah tahu macam mana dalam Power BI, you nak buat scatter plot, you nak buat trend analysis, you nak buat box plot, you nak buat apa lagi? Special, you nak buat location, kan? Then if you dah tahu macam mana teknik ni je, apa yang you nak buat, dual graph ke, you nak buat apa nama X and Y graph ni, if you have that particular skills using Power BI, then it will be easy for you to adopt that inside Tableau. The next most of the need is Tableau ataupun ClickSense ataupun ProStrategy kan. Those are the top ni. Does data science involve investment banking? Yes. The one that we did just now is on Arabesque. That is where we the fund manager in the investment, when they decide to invest in certain company, they will do artificial intelligence, and they will do the AI to understand the portfolio before they make a decision to invest in the company, right? Whether it's being it as a ESG compliance ke, Syariah compliance ke, and central bank compliance ke, a lot more lah. And so yes, there is. It's very heavily used, data science or artificial intelligence or any machine learning in the investment banking lah. Okay. Any questions before we ended our session? I hope that I have shared a lot with you, right? Yeah. Okay, this is also part of my thing lah. So if any of you are interested upon gradations to join Bank Islam, you are welcome lah to send a resume to HR. Just apply to LinkedIn. So always lah masuk lah dalam LinkedIn Bank Islam tu. Kalau Bank Islam punya LinkedIn tu ada post apa-apa, you like lah, you like kan, atau love ke kan. Then you nanti kalau ada nanti kita advertise, if there is a position we advertise, then you try lah apply. And so not necessarily banking under me lah, under data science project, because we also spread the analytics role throughout the divisions kan. So like dalam deposit sendiri dah ada analytics team, but not reporting to me lah, dia reporting to the someone in data analytics, tapi there will a lot, dia akan datang belajar berguru dengan kita orang dulu, then you put that in, then you continue on the deposit on the division itself lah. So we do really need the people who have the data science skills lah. Okay, a lot. Okay, I know.
Okay, I think thank you, Mr. Fairuz, for answering all the questions given. I think that's all for today's question and answer session with Mr. Fairuz. And I hope all the audience here are satisfied with the answer given. Now, if I could ask the people who join using Cisco WebEx platform to please turn on your camera for a photo session together with Mr. Fairuz. We will give about 2 minutes for all the participants and the audience here to be ready. For this, I will pass the photo session to the Multimedia Committee to handle.
Everyone ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, freestyle. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you everyone.
I believe that wraps up our session for today. Thank you all for your time and your coming to today's session. I, Ainur Aizia, as your moderator for today, would like to apologize if there are any shortcomings during today's sharing session. Be reminded, don't forget to fill in the Google form that will be provided in the chat box as your attendance before we end our session. That's the end of today's session for our webinar Data Science as Banking. We would like to say thank you once again to Mr. Fairuz as our speaker for today for delivering such an informative and interesting talk, and thank you to the participants and audience who participate in our webinar. Hopefully, today's program will be beneficial to all and also give some insight about how data science can be used and be applied in banking industry. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.